Okay, the last item we're going to talk about here today is going to be what we call the delete item recovery. These items that have been deleted can be recovered. And this should point a message out to everybody, because I get this all the time, and I talked about it in the purges. Listen, we don't delete things. We just remove them from the immediate screen. Okay, so really and truly, and this may not be 100% true, but you know, when you delete something, we don't delete it from the system, not everything. We put it off. In other words, we file it away. Think of it like purging. Okay, so we don't always delete things. Things that can be retrieved are going to be profit centers, service categories, contacts, whether a customer, an employee, a supplier, service items, which are your vehicles or equipment that the customer brings to you, inventory items, okay? Inventory items can be deleted, and then work orders can be deleted and recovered. I've made kind of a short story on this, and I think I lost my notes, but I think I'm going to remember most of the items that I was working with here. Wish I'd have kept my notes on that, but that's fine. So to utilize the delete or item recovery, the utility, that's from your utilities menu off the main ribbon, delete item recovery. It's important to identify your date range. When was the item deleted? Because you're going to have to fall within that date range. Now, I deleted some stuff this morning. I'm not going to worry about a profit center or a service category. I'm going to take you to a contact. Okay, I deleted a contact this morning, okay, named Waldo. So I'm going to type in, I'm looking for Waldo, who is a contact. I deleted him, and if you hover over this, look at the message. It was created on, it was modified, it was deleted, and who it was deleted by. So I can't deny I deleted it this morning. Okay. Another item that we can retrieve here is going to be a service item. Okay. So I deleted a customer. I thought Ride would bring it up. It should have brought it up. Yeah, I may have already retrieved that. Let me just go back here. Okay, yeah, for some reason I'm not getting it back, but what I did was delete the customer and the same vehicle, and in the license plate I had Waldo's Ride. I'm not finding it right now, but I'm not going to labor on that. But let's go back to Waldo, okay, do our search, okay, there he is, all right, and up at the top I have the ability to select recover. So if I recover, do you want to recover the one contact? And yes, I do. Now, if I go into my system under contacts, okay, that customer has been retrieved. Okay, it's also, there's the vehicle I was trying to bring back, but it's going to bring back anything that the customer owns if this customer had several vehicles. Okay. We also have a delete item recovery, and this was the one I was trying to think of a while ago, was the inventory item that I deleted this morning, and I wrote it down on a note, and now I can't find it anywhere. But I don't delete much, so I'm sure it's going to fall into this last month. So here it was this item, a Goodyear tire, that I deleted from inventory. I want it back. Okay. So what we have the ability to do is go in, do you want to recover the one selected inventory material? Yes, I do. So it's now been brought back into my system. There was also a work order, I think, that I started on Waldo. Okay. So there's the work order. So I deleted Waldo, I deleted his vehicle, I deleted his work order, and now I got mad at him this morning because he changed his mind. So now he's coming back in and we're friends again, and now he wants to carry on with his work. So I'm going to select recover the work order. Okay. So that work order, once recovered, is then going to be in work in progress. Let me do a refresh on this. And there you see the work order has been retrieved, the customer and the vehicle have been brought back. So your delete item recovery will be profit centers, service categories, contacts, service items, which include vehicle and equipment, inventory materials, and work orders. So there's a lot of items that come back from the delete recovery item. Guys, that said, I did run a little bit longer than I thought I was, so we'll probably have to look at this last little treat down the road sometime. I see a bunch of questions popping up over here. It looks like Alan has answered most of these. I'm assuming you guys can't see them, so maybe we just ought to walk through them. Can you change the payment between two types? An example, Visa and cash for the same payment. Yes, you can. You can move a check to a Visa. You can move a Visa to MasterCard. If you're asking, can you split it? The answer is no, you can't split it. That would have to be done through a GL adjustment. You can split it at the time of posting, but in the change, we do not have the ability to take one entry and split it into two. Okay. Can you reverse a credit? Can you reverse a credit? Well, a credit would be an adjustment, assuming, you know, we're looking at it from that angle. If the credit is an adjustment, then yes, we do have the ability to delete it. Okay. I'm seeing then below that you're saying invoice. Would like to see the option when creating credits to be able to only return one item and put it into the returns. There are two, for example, I am creating a customer for a tire that was warranted, but it had replaced somehow. I'm not really understanding that. It looks like Alan has answered that. In the earlier part of your question, you're asking there, Leanne, you'd like to be able to credit, you know, individual items, and you do have the ability. An example, if you did an oil change on a customer's car, you billed them for 6 liters of oil, and their vehicle only took 5 liters of oil, you do have the ability to credit for 1 liter of oil. I'm hoping that will answer your question there. Oh, you got another one here. Leanne, you're keeping us busy. That's good. Can you release the deposit back onto their account? No, you cannot, because the deposit was taken from a method of payment. Okay, the deposit was taken from a method of payment, meaning cash, check, Visa, MasterCard, something like that. If you do a credit, and I think what you're saying is instead of the customer giving you a credit card or a cash or a check, you post the credit in their payable account and their receivable account, I'm sorry. Yes, we did cover that you can delete a payment, but that is a delete. It's not gonna move, and that's completely different than releasing a deposit. Okay. So can I guess go to the general ledger to correct that? You can correct it as long as you're familiar how to maneuver. You can. Okay. Okay, anybody else?
Doug, I have something that I'm not sure if you covered in the deleted item recovery, and that's just using the percentage sign to search.
Okay.
If you don't have the exact vehicle plate, I mean, in the case of vehicles, it's probably the most helpful, but if you're just trying to find any vehicle, you could make the date range pretty wide and just use a % sign, or I'm not sure if Star does the same thing.
It should. We'll find. Yeah. Well, I don't think I have that much deleted, but what we're talking about is, if you can't remember, then you can open this date range up. Like I think it was this year sometime. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to start in January, go through today's date. Usually a star is going to be the same as the % sign. They're what we call wild cards, which means bring everything back. And let's just take a look. I will have some appointments deleted. So your percentage sign will work. I do believe the star will work. Let's just find out. Yeah, so they're the same thing. Your star, or what we call asterisk, which is the shift 8, or your percentage, which is the shift 5. So yeah, I do have a bunch of deleted stuff back here. Let's just see if there's anything under service items. There we go. So there's a service item, and there's a vehicle that was deleted. So great. Good point. I didn't think about that. So if you don't know your exact dates, if you don't know the exact license plate, okay, things like that on the vehicle, if you don't know the exact customer's name, now if you do a lot of deleting, keep that in mind. You're going to get a pretty big list out here. But if you hover over or do what we call the mouse over, it should give you the details on that. Keep that in mind. To get more details, just do a mouse over on it.
Right, yeah, the deleted by, I'm not sure if you had mentioned that before. That can determine who deleted it as well.
that was that bottom line there, see, so there's no denying. Now, listen, this doesn't have a camera. It doesn't look at who's behind the screen. All it's doing is retrieving who's logged in, who's the security login down here. So this is another thing you guys want to watch. You know, if you guys all log in with the same login, that's all we can tell you is who was logged in when that action took place. Okay, so keep that in mind. Good point. Anybody else have any other questions you can think of? Hey, we've got 5 minutes here. Well, wait, should we be deleting one-time customers passing through after? That's entirely your choice. That's entirely your choice. Remember, you can retrieve them if you need to, okay? But that would be entirely your choice. You can if you want. And you guys see that you can retrieve them if there's a question that comes up from that, okay? Well, we have 3 or 4 minutes left. Let me just take you guys. I'm not going to dig myself into anything too deep here, but there was one other feature I wanted to maybe hit on today, which is going to be our ability to merge and move. I'm going to close up some of these other windows here and go to contacts. And I purposely put in a duplicate customer. I'm thinking, I see this a lot, where we've entered the same customer twice. Okay, maybe there was a spelling error, maybe somebody didn't look. Again, whatever the reasons are, I've got the exact same customer in my system twice. I've also got the exact same vehicle in twice. Usually if you've got the same customer, the customer's bringing a vehicle in, so you can see I've got the same vehicle and the same customer. Problem here is, how do I fix this? Because there's history behind this customer. In other words, they brought the same vehicle in, I entered it a second time, and we've done repairs to it. So our fix on this is what we call a merge. Take the customer that you want to merge, okay, and then you're going to do an edit on that customer. Up at the top, you have what's called a merge with. Now, we want to merge to it, and the software is going to automatically pick up any match. See, it knows the match, so usually it's going to automatically pick it up, which is this customer here. So I want to take this customer and merge them to this customer. Okay, now, if that's confusing for you, what I do with a lot of people, I say, if you're going to merge, go in here and put something in here that identifies the customer you want to keep. Okay? So I go in and put in a little star, because you need to make sure, because once this is done, it can't be undone. So I'm going to edit that customer. I know which one I want to merge, and I know which one I want to keep. I'm going to merge, okay, and we're going to identify. Now, I should be picking up that star up here. I don't know why it's not picking up that star, but it will save it. Usually it comes right in. And pay close attention. Once you've done this, it can't be undone. So it cannot be undone. So I'm going to go ahead and process that. Okay, please specify a contact to move to. Okay, let me back up here. Don't know why it's giving me a little trouble. Okay, but let's just do a refresh on this so that that comes in. That's the customer I want to merge, edit. I'm going to go to merge with. Okay, don't know why I'm not picking up that other customer. Let me do this here. This is a little bit unusual. So let me just identify 415, okay? So there we go. I've got to do a little bit of searching in here. I think there's something that was changed on this, so just make sure you merge to the right customer. That's why I put the asterisk on, okay? And when we do that, we're going to ask you again to enter your code. And guess what? I'm down to 1 John Doe. Now keep this in mind. All the information that were on both John Does are now merged. They're not deleted, they're merged. And I'm going to prove that by looking. There's the 2 vehicles, okay? So once I merge the customers together, then I want to merge the 2 vehicles together, okay? So I'm going to take my vehicle, I'm going to do an edit, and I can do a merge. Now, what I want to tell you before I do the merge, well, actually, let me go ahead and do the merge, okay? And we want to merge it to the Ford, okay, 1873, okay? So now, instead of deleting, I've brought all these customers, all these vehicles together as one. And that's what you really want to do, because all the history stays with it. In other words, I had two vehicles, they were the same, I had history on both of them, and now the history on both those vehicles has been merged together. The last thing I'm going to leave you with before we go today is if John Doe ever sold this vehicle to a different customer, don't forget you have the ability to move this vehicle along with all of its history to a different customer. Okay, so let's just say I'm going to buy John Doe's truck, so we're going to move his vehicle to me. So when that gets moved, okay, so now I'm the new customer, I'm the new owner of that Ford F-250. That's what got moved. John Doe no longer owns it, and it's moved under my name along with the history. So if you sell if you sell vehicles between customers, that's another feature to keep in mind. Guys, we're out of time, so there are one more question on here. Does the merge option work with accounts payable? No. There's some background stuff on that we ought to look at. There are tricks in payable that have associated contacts, so you're going to need to make sure that the associations are right. Jacqueline, I'd say take a read on that in the help system. Maybe send in a question, drop that into support, and hopefully I'll get a hold of it, and I'll get you a definite answer on that. I believe it would, but there are some conditions around that because of what we call associated contacts on a payable account. So please send that into the support department and maybe throw my name in there, and I'll try and dig into that and get you a proper answer, okay?
It would not merge the payable accounts. If each contact had a payable account, it would not merge them. The two payable accounts would continue to exist. One of them would no longer be associated with the contact.
Okay, so there's your answer. So it's tricky on the payable and actually the receivable side and stuff like that. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I'm sorry I ran us over, but I really hope you guys can, you can see something here that either generates your interest or that you can take and apply. If you have any questions, make sure you get with the support department. And the webinar stuff will be posted up here probably later today, if not tomorrow sometime, certainly over the weekend, okay? I thank you all for attending. I appreciate your attention and your questions, and we'll look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks. July 13th will be our next webinar. Have a great day, everybody.